I don't know what to do with my hands. It's been a minute. Welcome to the Taco Grande, TACO, talking ACO, the American Cornhole Organization. Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO, side by side with Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude. We made it.
Somehow we made it back, Finn. I don't know how.
Cheers to you. Let's get this started the right way. Happy Taco Tuesday. Cheers to you. And I'll tell you what, the good news is we got back just in time to start it all over again. And we'll get to that. We got a lot to cover. We got Worlds 18 in Grande style. We got Field of Dreams Go the Distance Festival Beyond the Game weekend that we got to get to that we just wrapped up. We got Season 19 and a topic that a lot of people seem to be chitter-chattering about, even if they don't know all of the information. So we're going to pass along a little bit more of said information as well, that pertaining to Season 19 and the main bracket and where pros fit into said main bracket. But we have to start where we promised we would, and that was with our brand new king. Salute to Jeremiah Ellis, His Highness, the brand new king of Cornhole for Season 18. And he called his shot in March in Grand Traverse City, Michigan, and he followed through.
He did.
What a performance.
The man of his words, right?
Yep, absolutely. Well, as we mentioned, we've moved everything over here to the YouTube channel. Would invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you hit that bell so that you get notified on when the content is coming up. Now, I've been told that if you're not getting notifications, maybe you need to unsubscribe and resubscribe and then go back to the notification bell, because it gives you options to be notified on what you would like to be notified upon. So there might be a way to circumvent not getting them now. So maybe take a look at that. But yeah, we've got lots to get to, not the least of which is beginning by thanking everyone who was part of Season 18, our bag partners, Hampton Farms, everybody that made Season 18 as big as it was, and most importantly, that was you. And that was very evident in the Road Dog Awards this year in Owensboro, I'm sorry.
Killed an entire forest bringing those things in, baby.
Yeah, the EPA might like to have a word with us. Feel free to bring your comments as well as you're watching, and we'll do our best to answer and get to those. But what a World Championships in Owensboro, the biggest worlds ever. And again, Jeremiah Ellis stepped up big time, and we got a lot of people to thank. So let's start with a few right off the rip. VFW Post 696 bookended the whole party. I think LaBelle might still be there.
Started so good. Yeah, I mean, I know you said it started bookended to everything else, but wow, what a great time that was. I mean, I so much enjoyed the opening party with the crew and the lifers and the COs that were on hand there for that, flipping some burgers and rolling some dogs and drinking some cold beers at the VFW.
Plus, the outerwear that the three of us had on, you may see again in the first season opening episode of the Taco. In fact, you better, because I know where mine is. Do you know where yours is?
Oh, I have it. I pressed it off, and it's in a private little closet by itself.
It's at the dry cleaner. It's being pressed and ready to go. Well, the bag partners stepped up. The tailgater zone was huge. The red room, the blue room, connected by the Bud Light Lounge, thanks to Standard Sales and everybody there, Brian and his whole team, for making that the place to be. Every time I went looking for somebody, that's where I started, and then I worked my way back around the rest of the convention center.
It was a good place to be, man.
Yeah.
Blue side, right, red side, Bud Light side, any side upstairs was a lot of fun to be in.
Perfect. Looking out over the Ohio River, the majesty of the mighty Ohio. How about a whole nation? The largest game zone challenges we've ever had. More participants. In fact, we even did the Shoot It Challenge twice because it was in such high demand. So thanks to Cody for making that possible as well. But Jack and Paula Stevens, Glover Design, stepped up. I think everybody loves every single jersey. This is a brand new one for the broadcast team. Loving it. And so that was pretty awesome as well. So thanks to Jack and Paula. LaBelle, Chris Clark, April Clemens, can't say enough about how they pulled off the tournament. And then you look at Margaret Barrett and Gary and Darian in the merch area, and Tracy Burnett and Tim Burnett stepping up to make it all happen. The Hempies upstairs, the Garners upstairs, making the tailgater work, Jonesy and Mia. I mean, it was just an absolute true team effort, and I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Maybe if
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, if you don't talk about the Jones.
Oh, well, yeah, Mama and Papa. Yeah, the matriarch and patriarch of the Jones family, yes.
The major bread brought in by her. I've been eating it for weeks.
The banana bread?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's doing this.
I froze it and I cut off a cut.
It's like razor thin. You can see through it, but he's hoarding it. He won't share his with me. But we do have some winners that we do need to congratulate. And I'm just going to run through this list. If you have anybody you want to stop me on for a particular performance, please feel free to do so. Player of the season, let's get through those. Big blind draw, Russell Tabers. Congratulations. Nicely done. Johnny Thomas, player of the season. He's a repeat, actually, a back-to-back in senior singles. Chloe Arrington takes women's singles player of the season. Nicely done there. Isaac Hurt, juniors player of the season. You got to love that. Gary Bearpaw and Stacy Van Gilder for co-ed players of the season. Doubles team of the season. Do you remember who it was?
I don't.
Back-to-back, repeating. You know who it was.
I know.
The Hurt brothers.
Are you kidding me? They got a freaking fun stuff going on right now.
Gary Bearpaw, Caleb and Isaac Hurt. And they've been doing this with a lot going on in the background. I know everybody's got a lot going on, but there's a lot going on in the background with those guys. So congratulations there. And player of the season, and this was sort of a harbinger. It was a foreshadowing of things to come. The jackhammer, Jeremiah Ellis, takes it down. But all those who are tied for player of the season going into that, congratulations. Tailgater Zone, Tom Gustafson and Jacob Coleman. How about those guys coming out of the Tailgater Zone with those crazy opposite spin bags?
Well, now that you speak of the Tailgater Zone, I do have somebody we need to thank too. Okay, right? We had our broadcast teams there that were upstairs and downstairs. I just want to make sure. And you know who else?
No,
the Candlers. We didn't mention the Candlers.
I was getting theirs.
My bad. I didn't know this.
That's all right.
You surprise me sometimes, Finn. You got so much going on in Nugget. Let me stop right there and let you keep rolling.
You know what? And those folks deserve an extra mention. Absolutely, for doing that. Tom and Jacob, congratulations. The Farfsing Cup. Caleb Hurt, Isaac Hurt, Matt Gammon, and Gary Bearpaw. You almost had to know going in when you saw that team assembled. Aaron Candler takes the Lifer tournament back-to-back
for Candler, baby.
And we might have heard that he was a world champion
couple
one
times.
or 1,000 times while we were in
Somebody's got to become a lifer that knocks him off next year, because if I have to hear about a three-peat from Candler, it's going to be... You're going to get it done?
It's going to be me. I'm going to be the one to take him down. I'm making it my personal mission to take down Chuck Norris, with whom I share a birthday, actually. Don't tell him. I don't want to have to change my birthday. Barry Hippie and Jerry Armstrong in the certified official shootout. Slider Cup Open. Maddie McBride, Austin Cameron, Isaac Hurt, Caleb Hurt, Sebastian Barger. The Slider Cup non-pro. Richard Jones, Chris Newton, Fred Rice, Mike Doan, and Andy Anderson. Congratulations. The Hampton Farms Big Blind Draw. Caleb Hurt and the aforementioned Fred Rice, where every time I look at it, I see fried rice because I'm starving. But anyway, Tyler Goodwin and Riley Dressler take the Big Blind Draw Open. Caleb Rogers and Riley Brewster take down juniors doubles, seniors doubles, Doug McClure and Jim Culver. Congratulations. Women's doubles, Kim Dice and Chloe Arrington. Again, two names you absolutely want to keep your eyes on this coming season. They are absolutely going to be making lots of waves. Wayne Corprew in senior singles. How about that? What a great win.
That's big.
And he spent some time with Rich Pyle, and you got to know him in a little bit of the whole nation setup that they had, and they got so many great interviews. So if you haven't had a chance to go check those out, make sure that you do. And Wayne Corprew is one of the great ones. Austin Cameron takes down junior singles. His last opportunity to do that as a junior, and he took it with him. He took the last one he could. So congratulations there. Tyler Amos and Philly Rainier. I learned how to properly pronounce it. I apologize.
Rainier.
Philly take down co-ed doubles. And I want to stop here for a second with women's singles. Josie Claire just killed it to the point where her high school made a video congratulating her and highlighting her, and it's on our Facebook page if you haven't checked it out. Greenup High School, and it's just awesome.
She does an incredible job being interviewed there and everything else. So and she, we talked about her numerous times this year, but the time she came out for me was out in Charleston last year.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where I think she almost put it on Isaac Hurt. I remember, I think, on center court there. So.
She sure did, and she came out on center court, no nerves whatsoever, and she destroyed all the way through the bracket. And congratulations, Josie Claire, our women's champion. Co-ed doubles, I mentioned Tyler and Philly. Doubles champions, Caleb and Isaac Hurt. Again, the brothers come together, Wonder Twins powers activated, form of a champion, shape of a couple of big wooden things, as Phil likes to say. And I want to make sure Tier 3 and Tier 2 get some love. Parker Burgett and Mason Higgins take down Tier 3. Mason Higgins is another name to be on the lookout for. Danny Lamb and Chris Bates take Tier 2 in doubles. Congratulations to them. Robbie Burton takes Tier 3 in singles. Nicholas Garner takes Tier 2 in singles. And he is the king. He wears the crown. The robe was put around him by the previous king, Craig Irvin, who smelled like donuts.
Mini donuts.
Mini donuts. Delicious. They had a great week, a great run. But the crown and the cape went from Craig Irvin to Jeremiah Ellis. And how about that? And maybe two of the most important awards that we gave away over the course of the weekend. Certified Official of the Year, which came as a huge surprise at our opening party to him, I don't think to anybody else, and definitely to his wife. Congratulations to Lee Sturzik. That was very well deserved.
Yeah, he's really been instrumental in really bringing Michigan to the level Michigan is now. I mean, Michigan has a lot of great COs up in that area, but Lee is definitely one of them.
And the other one that we gave away is the CIA Award, and that's a very, very important one. I know near and dear to everyone's heart that ever had a chance to meet and hang out with this dude. I had a brief opportunity to spend some time with him. He lit up every room that he was in, and he amped up every room that he was in. Damon Cochran, the CIA Cochran Impact Award, and that went to Scott Melby, Indianapolis area.
Yeah, and I think Melby was surprised to receive it, but he shouldn't have been. He's been with us for numerous years. He's been such an instrumental person in the world of cornhole, especially in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
So hats off again to both those two for what they've done.
Well, and again, so as we finish our thank yous, thanks to Team CBC, Dylan and his crew, Bill and his crew, for showing up, and Thomas and those guys, Jay Boogie for stepping in his formal broadcast jacket and picking up some slack on center court when we were slacking. My man, the Mississippi Ninja, Philip Barnett, was a trooper. He played and commentated. He killed it as always. And again, like you mentioned, Tina Candler, who helped coordinate and keep the whole thing gelled together. And I think that pretty much gets everybody. And of course, Aaron, who is the I don't know if you heard, Aaron Candler is the back-to-back world champion in the Lifetimers tournament. I don't know if you heard that.
Maybe so. Maybe a little. Did I miss Tom Latham in there?
Latham and Zach were the last two, and they were coming up here a little bit later because we want to give credit to the videos. But Latham's a good one to mention because he not only handles the look of everything we're doing, including Whole Magazine, which I don't think we have a copy of, turned out great, but he handled all the pro photos. And I know there are some pro photos that still need to be taken. For those of you who missed your opportunity, we're going to send out the instructions on what you need to shoot so we can get you your own pro photo. So many of which we've seen become profile pictures, and I love it. I love seeing those shared all over. Remember when you do that, hashtag ACO Worlds, hashtag Cornhole Championships, hashtag American Cornhole, and just keep building all that momentum. It's great to see all that. So
did you catch one of our bag partners, I think it was OTT that did this, took the pro photos of the players he's recruited to be part of his team and made a nice little poster online.
I love it.
All of his pros that are supporting and playing him.
We put up we tried to put up a graphic of all our champions, but it turned out some divisions kind of were left off as we populated the list. But it was so small, the print was so small online, you wouldn't even be able to read it. There were so many champions, and congratulations to all of you who did take home either the hardwood or the hardware for Throwensboro, Kentucky. We also made the announcement that the first Super Major ever is going to be hosted there at the end of January. We'll get to that in a moment. And the final thing that we wanted to mention with regard to the World Championships in Throwensboro, certainly thanks to Mark and Dave and Chris from Visit Owensboro, thanks to Shelby at the Convention Center, and how about our crew from Cornwall? I'm wearing the flag right here.
Oh, there you go.
Y'all, I want to make sure that I hit Cornwall, Tom Collins and his family, Emma and Millie, who celebrated her 22nd birthday there with us and was serenaded appropriately by a bunch of jackasses in the main room, or upstairs in the tailgate zone. But it was a lot of fun. And then the pub proprietor from the Par Inn, Matt, came out, Matt Bailey, his wife Tamsin, And they were lucky to get out of town, I think, with their son Toby, because I think everybody I know wanted to put him in their Zuka bag and take him home.
They tried to kidnap that little fart.
But he got out and got to play a little bit. And you got a cricket ball? Do you still have your cricket ball?
I do, but it's in the other room. I should have brought it in here.
Tribute Beer was their sponsor from across the way. And Tom, he's one of the few companies that make official cricket balls and gave us each a Tribute cricket ball,
cool.
Which was very cool. So thanks to those guys for making the trip. And speaking of traveling, I don't know that anyone, or in fact, I'm not even sure, this might even qualify for an unofficial Road Dog award. And that was a particular receptacle for beverages. Now, it started with this guy right here, Gary Ferguson, who inadvertently in Traverse City, Michigan, Grand Traverse, left his cup behind. Well, one A.T. Klinger, who you saw just a moment ago and are seeing in his prime here, decided to send it out. So he sent it here for the taco. It made its way down to Great American Ballpark. It made its way to Alaska. Then it went to California. Then it went to Colorado. Then it went to Texas. Then it went to Arkansas. Then it went to Wisconsin. From Wisconsin on to Michigan. From Michigan on to New York. New York back to Indiana. I think you see a pattern here. It circled its way around back to Owensboro, Kentucky. And if I'm not mistaken, it sat on the awards table right in front of him, and he didn't even recognize it because everybody that took hold of it put their own little stamp of approval. So we started here with the taco, off to Alaska, and on it went because A.T. Klinger is absolutely out of his mind.
It turned out cool as hell. I think it's actually a great story. It's a cool thing, man. I love it.
I think this needs to be the traveling trophy for the person of all the road dogs who travels the most.
They get to keep it for a year?
Every year. You hold on to it for a year, you put a sticker on it, and you bring it back. So, Fergie, if you're looking for this, you don't own it anymore. And I love the... Oh, yeah, the lid's broken. That's because we put our most delicate man in charge of it. But I love this because AT sent me this, and he sent this to me. He sent me the cup, and then he sent me prepaid envelopes for every one of those destinations that I just told you about. So I could take my pictures, send them on, although mine are the only ones that didn't make the slideshow. I went down to Great American Ballpark and put them in all kinds of weird positions. But nevertheless...
Did you submit them?
I did, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line was he prepaid all of it. All you had to do is take your pictures, send them to him, and send it on through this envelope. And he said, this is his quote, "This journey has been called epic. It's been called a stupid waste of money for a $4 cup." Looking at you, Mrs. Dark Horse. But it's also been called, quote, "the reason why ACO is so awesome. A little petty larceny and a simple request brought together old friends, new friends, and even complete strangers from far-flung corners of the ACO nation. Love to all, and somebody please put a bell on Fergie," from A.T. Klinger. So, bravo, man. That was very well executed. This will become our traveling trophy as we move on, I think, for the person who traveled the furthest. But wow, what a World Championships this was. We had the opportunity to have some local celebrities come out and play a little exhibition match against our Kings. We had the Mini Waves donut truck out there with the Irvins. That was great. And we got to basically, I think, to increase the gross domestic product in Owensboro by 10%, if not 10 times 100%, while we were there. So thanks to everybody that came out. If you couldn't have been there, hopefully you're able to pick up on some of the streaming, the photos that were being posted. There's still more to come, and if you've got great photos, post them and tag ACO Worlds, tag Cornhole Championships, tag American Cornhole, because we do have some bags we want to give away, right? For the we're going to pick 10 people who had the best photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
What bags are we going to give away?
We're going to do a mixed drawing.
All right, on. We're going to do random bags from multiple bag partners. How cool is that?
All right, so the luck of the draw.
We came home, we washed our clothes, our underpants, and then we turned around and went right back out into the middle of Iowa. Dyersville, Iowa, to be specific. How about the Field of Dreams, driven by Kia, specifically Finn and Kia in Dubuque. April, Amy, her whole crew, in fact, a couple of her crew played in the barn the other day, but it couldn't have gone better. B3 Mach 2s were there. We had IMF coverts there with those specially made bags that each had a kernel of corn in them. And we also had the new ACO Traditions bags, which you're seeing right here. And a lot of folks were throwing those and seemed to really be digging them, especially on some of these really fast boards that were showing up outside and inside in the legendary Red Barn Center Court at the Field of Dreams movie site. But what a week it was. We got there, we set up, we made our presence known in downtown Dyersville, to be sure. And how about Saturday in the barn, the Corny 40 Classic?
Dude, in the barn. Well, you know how much we love In the Barn. In the Barn from last year was amazing, and this year was just as good or better than ever.
Yeah.
So love In the Barn, right?
It was amazing. And the thing is, this was a choose your weapon program where you came in and you played, and a lot of people played with these Traditions bags and were grabbing the Mach 2s and the Coverts and playing, but you weren't playing with the bags you were typically accustomed to.
Right.
You were playing in the coolest center court of all time, but again, one that's a little bit daunting based on the construction of that barn. One of the guys that you would have thought might have been affected by this, TJ Miller, because of his height and the length of his stride when he throws the bag, ends up taking the whole thing.
Well, and you walk into that barn, it is intimidating if you have not seen it for the first time ever, and you're a first-time pro out there at the Field of Dreams and playing in the barn. It's different. I mean, the first year, last year when we were there, everybody was freaking out about it. But once you got used to it,
I can't throw an airmail. It'll hit it on the way up. No, it won't. It'll hit it on the way down. No, it won't. I'm going to hit the chandelier. No, you won't. But you think you will, and you really got to see who could dial their game in. And there were so many great matches and great shots that we were able to bring you from center court in the barn. And he was normally throws luckies. He throws the, I don't know if he throws the Valors or not, but Charlie Case, he wanted to give a shout out to you just so you knew. He's always throwing luckies, and this time he stepped up and made quite a spectacle of himself, taking home the big wooden thing, as Philip likes to call it. Sunday, the Dream Team Invitational, some great teams, and this happened on the Corny 40 Classic. Some folks got bounced in a best 2 or 3 that we weren't expecting. We saw some people win that we weren't expecting. We saw some people lose that we weren't expecting, which usually goes hand in hand, I suppose.
Sure, yeah.
But when it all came down to it, the teamwork between the two guys on this team, and they're relative cool, specifically for their age, really was something to see. The Dream Team Invitational was Matt Gammon and Gary Bearpaw taking on Brandon Earls, 18 years old, and Jaden Ellis, 15 years old. And those two had to grind and grind. They were down 16-0 in one game on center court, came back to win, and they just ran through the field.
Well, one thing I love about this entire weekend out there at the Field of Dreams is that, we do have In the Barn, which climate is controlled. The cameras are all zooming. You guys are doing your broadcasting. The lighting is perfect. Everything's perfect in the barn. You go outside the barn, and it's a whole new ball game. Whether you're playing on the patio next to the dugout or you're down in the gravel pit, pitching down there.
Tunnel.
Oh man! And I'll tell you what, man, it's survival of the most adaptive cornhole player out there.
Yeah.
Who can adapt to the elements out there that are.
Well, I was standing up on the deck that looks out over the main play area, the qualifier area, and there were some folks that were just there to see the Field of Dreams. And everybody was looking and taking pictures and whatever. And I said, "You guys play cornhole?" They said, "Yeah, we play." I said, "You any good?" He go, "We thought so." I go, "What does that mean?" I said, "If you want to get into one of these qualifiers, there's still room to get in a qualifier." And he said, the one guy goes, "Well, I thought about it. And then I saw that kid right there throw 7 in a row in the hole in all this wind, and it was Spencer Garner."
Oh, jeez.
And he just happened to see Spencer get on a
roll in the
beater.
wind, figure it out.
And but it was funny because that low flat bag really worked to your advantage. We had a little bit of rain on Sunday, so there were lots of things to overcome. But congratulations again, TJ Miller, our Corny 40 Classic champion, and to Brandon Earls and Jaden Ellis, our Dream Team Invitational champions. Now, one other thing that we did after all that wrapped up on Saturday, we stepped out onto the main field at the Field of Dreams movie site, hallowed ground for any baseball fan, with some very hallowed names for any baseball fan. How about this? Hall of Famer Dave Winfield.
He's tall.
He is tall. Vince Coleman, maybe one of the speediest guys ever to run the bases.
He's funny.
We had Dave Stewart, a guy who will stare a hole through you. He would stare a hole through you from the mound. Very low key. So we partnered him with Bearpaw, known for their great, dependable always consistent pitching, very soft-spoken, and they were a perfect team. Dexter Fowler, another one, a great one who won with the Cubs back in 2016. Bill Mad Dog Matlock, who was just hilarious. That dude was so funny. And Dwyer Brown, who played John Kinsella in the movie Field of Dreams. He plays Kevin Costner's dad as a young man. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? He was that guy. And he was there. We even had one of the ghost players there, although I couldn't quite see where he was at any given time. But we had one of the ghost players there. We partnered him up. We played quads and skins on the first baseline, and I think everybody had a good time.
It was great. It worked out perfect, Finn. I mean, trying to get everybody, all these ball players, accustomed to understand the rules of cornhole, and then flipping it on them a little bit by teaching them what skins was all about, was fun. But, our pro players, I think, had good time rubbing shoulders with them and pitching bags and getting a few hoots and laughs.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of smack
talk. We had to call Coleman on a foot foul.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Coleman almost ejected you from the ballpark. You can see him right on the screen. This was right before he had his Donnybrook with you. But he made like 6 or 7. Yeah, there's Dave Stewart staring a hole through somebody. I don't know who, but Coleman... you're taking out. Look at Dave Winfield. He's like 6'6", so we paired him with T.J. Miller based on height. That was the only reason we could think of that made more sense. And we put Dwyer Brown, the father in the movie, with Bob Heil, thinking that Brett might be there and thought that might be a cool, hey, Dad, you want to have a pitch kind of thing. But Brett wasn't able to make it. But it turned out that our winning quad team was Stewart Bearpaw, all right, partnered up with Heil and Dwyer Brown. And the best part is, I don't know that Dave Stewart stayed on the board the entire time. He had kind of a flick, and he had a flick, and then he would just step back like it didn't matter, and a flick, and I'm like, I don't think he's having much fun. Until they won. And then I heard him go, he did this, he said, he goes, shit, I won, I didn't even do anything. So he and Bearpaw and Heil and Brown ended up taking home these killer souvenir bats as a prize, and we had too much fun with them. So thanks to everybody who helped put that together. I mean, the entire crew from Travel to Buke, Keith and John and everybody from the field, of course, Craig and Dean and Andy the farmer who makes sure it all looks good and the corn is where the corn needs to be when it needs to be there. Lucy and Lindsay and Tucker, Noah, Brent, all their interns who did yeoman's work over the course of the weekend because there were ball games happening left, right, and everywhere. Of course, Payday Peyton down in the bar, pink-haired Payday.
You said ball games happening all over. What was it, the U.S. Patriot team?
U.S. Patriots.
That was really cool to see them. And then they brought in the young kids that were there. Oh, that was really awesome.
The ones that they mentor that have had, have either been born without, all of their limbs, or maybe there's been an accident or whatnot has robbed them of one particular limb. But the ability to adapt and overcome, you want to talk about that. And we're excited about adaptive cornhole coming to the ACO, and we'll tell you more about that as season 19 gets underway. But watching these Patriots and these that they're mentoring, these kids that they're mentoring, was really inspiring. And if you're going to be inspired in a place beyond the place itself, this is the place.
Make it the place.
It was amazing. So many great games. And again, thanks to Peyton and Morgan and Josie. They were our hosts down in the brand new Dugout Bar, inspired by the Go the Distance Festival 2022. Thank you very much. We each grabbed a bottle of Field of Dreams whiskey, batch 1. So I got that on my shelf. Excited about
that.
Never
be open for now.
Never going to open it until your son stays over at my house watching my dog
for now.
And drinks the whole thing. Thanks to GNR Farms. Speaking of farms, Vidalia Onions, the official sweet onion of the ACO. If your organization doesn't have an official sweet onion, that's on you. We have one. And we did a little peel back the layers feature with Brandon and Jaden after they won the doubles championship. And the whole point was, let's find out something about you that you don't, each of you that we don't know. And I think Jaden looked at me and goes, well, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm like, HIPAA laws. What happened there? We got a little too far back into the layers, maybe. But those guys were great. They were so much fun to be around. Thanks again to GNR Farms. Looking forward to doing more with them in the coming season. Thanks to Mitch Miller, the CO in the area, who the moment he showed up, I feel like he was there. I think he stayed there overnight to be there to help us out. Looking forward to big things with and from him moving forward. I know. And you met his family. He brought out
his
whole
family. His wife, his couple daughters. They were awesome.
And thanks to Textile Brewing, the Palace, the Fuse, the 3 bars on the downtown Dyersville pub crawl, and maybe one of our favorite places, Cleaver and Patty's Front Porch
I was just
Pub.
going to say, if we don't have Cleaver and Patty on there, I'm going to be a little bit upset, man, because they were definitely a hoot and holler.
And this is this guy in a nutshell. We're walking around. We're going from bar to bar. We're looking for one that I guess used to be there, but it's not there anymore. So we're walking. If we go over here, I think there's one over here. So we go down to this corner. We're standing on the corner, and across the far corner, there's these two people sitting out on their front porch. And they look to be sitting out just drinking a beer. And he goes, and this one says, "Is the bar open?" And the guy is like, "What?" And so he runs over there. Is the bar open? And me and Candler are just standing there. And finally they wave us over. They're sitting there drinking their beers out of a soft side cooler, eating pretzels with a special recipe that Patty came up with. He goes, "Hey, my name's so-and-so, but they call me Cleaver." At which point I quit asking why someone has the nickname Cleaver. But we sat there, they gave us beers. They're like, "Oh, next time you should stay in this house next door." Da-da-da-da-da-da. So, but everybody we spoke to in town was like, "Oh, yeah, Patty and Cleaver, we know them." But that was a lot of fun. They shot us down to Fuse where we had a great time. But hopefully we are welcome back. I have a feeling they definitely want to see us back there because I think a little scratch was made by all. And thanks again to Andy Blada from B3 Bags for pinch hitting. Oz had some family business to take care of. And Andy B stepped in and pinch hit for us admirably. We appreciate that. He kicked the dirt off his shoes and took the flight in from Florida through Dallas, Fort Worth, and if you've ever flown that, you know what a challenge that can be. So we appreciate that as well. Have I missed anyone or anything?
No, it was one heck of a recap, baby.
It was something. And we drove home yesterday. It was a 8-hour drive, during which it rained 9.5 hours. I think we got 9.5 hours of rain in 8 hours.
It was a big amount of rain.
It was a lot of rain. Hopefully it washed some different places, clean versus some others. And more on that later. Let's talk about season 19. You want to?
Let's talk about season
Worlds
19.
was great. Field of Dreams was great. What's that? Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about Textile video. I'm glad he brought this up.
Oh, my. You got to share this with the world.
All right, so
but this is going to start something new for us, right?
All right, yes, it is. So here's the first one. And who is this? Is this Parker? Yeah, this is the first one. Parker says, "Hey, let me ask you a question," and we'll let him ask you the question. And watch what happens here, particularly here. Okay, watch this.
All right, here we go.
Check out here. Check out his ear. Look at his
He used to be a circus clown.
How much do you love me?
I don't.
Can you see his ear?
You?
Just about
Turn
enough.
this way, though.
You?
Look.
Not enough?
He does that, and he does it twice. He puts his ear down in here, tucks it away, and then does this thing where he can flick his own ear out. And you and I are losing it. We're like, I've never
It actually
seen...
hurts my ears are bitty dinky things anyway, but it hurts, dude. It doesn't fold. It doesn't do anything. The cartilage there is kind of stiff. It's like, what the heck?
So I'm like, he and I are both dying laughing. I shot that video because he did it twice. I couldn't believe it. And we're both looking at each other going, I have never seen that ever before in my life. Same thing. And then we turned to our left and saw this.
Nobody else can do that. That's ridiculous.
I've never tried that before.
You want me to pop it out?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good, dude. Oh, my God.
Oh,
All right, I'm going to one up you. Can you pull your collarbone back?
Oh, my God.
We're thinking, there can't be. No one else does this. And then we're with two people at a table of 8 that can do that.
I'm telling you right now, I am going to go statistically because it's like people that can flip their tongue or do something like this.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people can do that or whatever, but it's a genetic thing, right? And I want to understand the statistics on how many people are born with that genetic skill.
Based on that, 25% of people can do that.
Can do that.
I don't think so. But we're like looking at Parker going, there's no way that who else can do that? And then Ellis goes, I can do it.
We're going to have the Oz turn to us and say, dudes, look what I can do.
Look what I can do. He's going to do both of them. He's going to fly away. He did. I know he did. He said he tried it when he was loaded. I did too. We both sat there and tried it to the point where our ears were bright red like Dumbo. But how funny was that? But he could. And then we got an impromptu magic show by our boy E. E and Shelby were there. And Steve and I, again, I cannot for the life of me pronounce your last name. Engsburton?
I just go with Steve. I go with Steve.
Stevie E.
That's the way. Stevie is what he likes to go by anyway.
He goes, no. He goes, I used to be a magician. I'm like, well, you're never used to be a magician. You either are or you aren't. And he came in and blew everybody away with a handful of tricks. And I know he won't tell me how to do them. I thought I knew how to do one, but I think I'm wrong. But he did one with a packet of sugar that just blew my mind. I don't know how he did it. But anyway, so it did prompt our discussion about next year at the Worlds. We're going to have to carve out some time and do our version of stupid human tricks. We have to. I mean, I don't know, Finn. We'll talk over one of these nights. I almost feel like we should have it as a talent show.
Yeah, as part of the taco each week. Have somebody submit their stupid human trick. If we get a good one, we put it on.
Maybe we do that, and then we take all of them at the end, and then bring them to the Worlds, and we have a demonstration, and then somebody is the winner of the favorite stupid human trick.
Because literally, we got two really good things that happened there, presentation-wise. At least one stupid human trick.
Well, how about we call it a talent show?
Okay, a talent
How about
show.
that instead of a stupid human trick? Here's my stupid human trick. The ability to drink 2 beers in less than an hour. But no, that was a lot of fun, and the Textile folks were great hosts. We certainly appreciate them, and I'm glad you reminded me of those videos. What a hoot. Now let's move on to season 19, where we are going to be announcing where the Worlds are going to be in Charleston, West Virginia, the second major of the season. The first one, Lake Charles, Louisiana, which I'm bummed out I'm not going because, as you may or may not be able to tell, I'm a really big fan of food.
Doesn't get any better than that, I'm going to tell you, man.
It's good as it gets.
It doesn't get any better than Lake Charles, Louisiana. So
that's where we're going to start here in 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks.
Follow your
2
lead
weeks.
on that.
I don't know, the first weekend of September. Then we moved to Charleston, West Virginia for the first of 5 ACO Pros Series Skins Cornhole games. That's going to be the whole major. It's going to be part of that. An extra $5,000 on the line just for that, just for the pros who compete. We're going to have 5 Pro Series Skins majors like that. So it's going to be, the first one's going to be in Owensboro. In Charleston. Then we go to, is it Atlantic City?
Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City.
Yep.
Then right smack dab in the middle, Owensboro, Kentucky for the first ever ACO Super Major, which is going to be 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yep.
Okay. $30,000
$30,000 on the line
for one 3-day weekend.
Yep. Bunch of different tournaments that's applied to, but yes, that's a big deal, dude.
That's huge.
That's
Huge. And then Dalton, Georgia, a brand new city for us, as is Atlantic City. And I want to go back to Atlantic City here for a moment, especially for families. But Dalton, Georgia, the carpet capital of the world. And then we're wrapping up at Branson, Missouri, Memorial Day weekend. Those are the 5 Pro Series, larger purse, skins game majors. Can't wait to do those. Those are going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be out and about streaming other majors through the course of the season. Talk a little bit about, if you've got a family, especially if you've got kids, why Atlantic City might not be the place you think you'd take them, but now is absolutely the place you would take them.
Dude, it truly is the place. If there's any tour stop besides Branson that we have on the books, I think Atlantic City this year is the place to take your family. And I'm going to tell you, we are showcasing this event, the Pro Series and the Major, in a place, the Showboat. They have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know it's brand new. I don't know what the expenditure was on this, $100 million, something crazy. But it's an all brand new water park, but it's the biggest in the country from what I understand. From what I understand, it's the most beautiful. But it's brand new. So it's brand spanking new. So you'll get out there to enjoy this indoor water park that's connected to our hotel, that's connected to the Major and the Pro Series, and it's going to be one heck of a good time. So make your way out to Atlantic City with your family is what I'm telling you right now.
That's awesome. And so to start marking your calendars. The full season 19 release for tickets and everything is coming very soon. We're tweaking a couple things, signing a couple of documents, dotting some T's and crossing some I's. And we're making sure that all that gets done. All that will be on sale for you here very soon. Now, that said, let's talk about the other big topic in season 19 that is brand new, and that is, and it comes with a couple of different elements to it. pros advancing to the main bracket in season 19. This was talked about and talked about and talked about. I understand it to be a great benefit and a great reward for you to have achieved pro status, and that's top 80 in a season, making yourself within the top 96 total at the Worlds. You get that non-ranked pro status, and then also that second year of your 2-year pro status. All pros will be eligible when they show up to advance to a main bracket. That doesn't mean all pros are going to show up to everyone, but all that do will advance the main bracket. What that does is that opens up pool play. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Opens up pool play. Now, the big question was, well, there must be taking fewer people out of the pools to accommodate for that.
Right.
And the pools is where you get in, and I know you feel a lot of excitement and enthusiasm the first time you get out of pool play, and then that's your goal. This allows more people to come in, grow the game, and be a part of the ACO, and to build up the family that we have. Okay, so that means more people can come into pool. Well, you're taking fewer people then. No. Still 12 people out of the pool. Now, we may be in a situation where we could end up splitting brackets and splitting them again to make sure that we work on time. But this is an opportunity for more people to come experience the game, more people to come in and meet new faces and not be afraid to walk in necessarily to a buzzsaw right out of the chute. And the one thing that I've heard about it from the people who don't care for it is, well, I think you need to work and you need to achieve every single time. Well, you did. You achieved the ability to go in there, be in the main bracket, and have somebody come out of pool play and kick your ass right out of the chute that you weren't expecting. You still have that opportunity to come out of pool play and go right face-to-face with a pro and beat them. And think about that. If you are a pro that, I think Chase Puckett made the comment, he goes, I would still get nervous in pool play. Well, that's good. That means you care and you want to win. Think about this. You've been advanced to pool play, and now somebody you've never seen comes up to play you. How nervous are you going to be then? And how much are you going to earn it then? That, to me, is the excitement of this program.
And I'm curious, too, if some of these pros that do come out who have already advanced, I'm wondering if they're going to sleep in and rest, or are they going to come out and scout some of the talent that's coming out of these pools that they're going to have to battle against. And you said it, Finn. I mean, one of the things is you talk about how difficult it is to make it out of pool play. Yes, it's going to be slightly simpler, possibly. I'm not going to say it's going to be.
I don't know how you can.
Possibly.
I don't even know how you can say
because you could say there's not any pros in the pools themselves. But let me explain something to you. Every year, there's players out there that cycle into the ACO that push other players out of the ACO or push them out of pro status because they are good enough to be pros. They're just not identified yet as pros. So those pools are filled with many, many talented players. And it only gets deeper as each year goes on.
Here's what I liken it to. And I come out of, if you know me, I come out of radio for, honest to God, 130 years. I think Marconi and I went to grade school together. And then I was in the concert business for 8 or 10 years running shows. The thing that I liken this to, and I'll never forget this when I saw this, at one point, every national band was a local band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all you have to know.
It's true.
Every national band was at some point a local band. And this is where we find the local bands who become national acts. This is how you get more people to come in and be a part of it. We all talk about growing the game. This grows the game. And it puts you on notice that you earned an honor that now you have to maintain. So if anything, the pressure is probably more on you because you've been advanced to the main bracket. That's the way I look at it. I look at it from a non-player's perspective. If I say I want to get up every day and I want to win, well, I did. I won enough to get there. And now I'm sitting there going, uh-oh, who's coming after me? Mm-hmm. And that right there should make you nervous. And that right there is what's exciting about this. On any given Friday, Saturday, or throughout the worlds, Sunday through Saturday, Monday through Saturday, Tuesday through... anybody can beat anybody. That's what's exciting about this to me.
Well, and I think it's pretty cool, too. I mean, you talk about making it out of the pool play, and I get it. That is super special to make it out of pool play for the first time. and is still going to be super
It
special.
doesn't diminish that
but
at all.
It does not diminish that. What happens now, though, is we have a few more people that might advance to the main bracket. Now, how cool is it as a player who has made it to the main bracket for the first time, and you happen to win your first game in the main bracket?
Yeah.
That's something to be proud about and talk about, right? Or you win, you go on a run. You're one of those players that comes out of pool play hot. Nobody knows who you are. You advance to the main bracket, and before you know it, you're playing Jeremiah Ellis in the championship game and beat him.
Yeah, well, and that might take a couple of years of this, but it does give you
Just
the opportunity.
Saying, it's out there.
It's out there, and it gives you the opportunity to come in and play with us in a city that might be, Dalton, Georgia, and then Clarksville, Tennessee, and then Owensboro, Kentucky. The number of times I had people come up to me and go, "This is my first major. Are you having a good time?" "I'm having a blast." "How'd you do?" "Oh, I went, 2-1 or whatever." They told me, I don't know what that means, but they were excited about being in there shoulder to shoulder and walking around and seeing and playing against pros in pool play. You're only delaying the fear, because they're going to be there when you get to the main bracket. And if you get out and this is just me talking, I don't know. Bottom line,
I think too. I mean, going back to, if I'm a pro player, and maybe not all pro players think this, there's only one thing that I think possibly is something that a pro player could argue that they would like to play in pool play, and that's to get loosened up and warm. If you're that good and you're not afraid of any player on the planet and know you're going to make it out of pool play, which there's nobody out there like that, because people get beat in pool play.
Sure.
But is a player like that. But I think it's better for our pro players. And again, I wanted to say something to clarify one more time. The players that advance are any current recognized ACO pro players. And the way you are current is if you earned pro status in the previous season. So this previous season now, as we go into 19, is 18. So any player that earned pro status for the first time or earned it again is eligible and will be on that list. And those were the top 80, and those were the players in the top 96 at the Worlds. And then also any players that had earned pro status in season 17, because one of the things that you have with the ACO is your status is good for 2 years. Even if you didn't earn pro status in season 18, but you did earn pro status in season 17, you are still on that eligible and you are recognized as an ACO pro.
And this is pro status, I might remind you, that you can't buy.
It's a fact, Jack. I mean, you have to earn this, and you have to earn it over a season.
Allow me to say it again and just let it hang there for a second. You can't just buy pro status. All right, let's get to the comments, shall we? And by the way, one of the most dangerous things that you can do is work off of the following phrase. You know what I heard?
No, wait.
That doesn't work.
I didn't finish what I want to say, because
Okay.
I didn't get to say
Well,
I think
the other thing you didn't address is this.
What it was, the value of bypassing pool play for a pro player. To me, I think the value of it is, number one, you earned that right. You worked hard to earn the status as a pro player of the ACO. So you should get that chance to advance. But A, you don't have to worry about making it a pool play. B, if you so choose, you can come in a little bit later. I think it's also the majors, Finn. You and I don't last very long when we play. But these good players, they get it's tiring. It's grueling to go through an entire day, right?
All right. So
So as a pro player, if you don't have to go through that process of that first round, and you've already advanced to that next round, that's a reward for me being a pro. Me working the previous year, the years past.
And the concern that, I like going there during pool play because I got to meet the pros. And you're still going to, trust me, they're going to be there. They're not just going to be sitting over there eating bonbons in the lobby of the Ritz. If they are, they're going to be out of the main bracket in no time because of you. So the bottom line is you're still going to have all that same experience. Again, now, how do the points work? That's another one. And then Rob Zukoski, who also continues to want to know where the Worlds are. We told you it's going to be at your house. So start laying those pads, get that concrete down, and get ready, because we'll be there the last week of July, your place. We're going to announce that at Charleston, West Virginia, just so you know. That's where that will be announced. So, but the current pros are guaranteed more points from the majors. What if they didn't make it out and get where if they didn't get out, they get less points.
True. I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, that's a fact. They've already advanced to the main bracket. But once again, you now have more, what do you want to call, competitive, social, younger, new pool players that are going to earn more points too. So it's the best of both worlds, I think, is you're going to have more people that have a chance now to chase that dream of being an ACO pro than you had before.
I'm trying to book flights now for West Virginia. I need times, please. I don't know what that means.
Times are the same.
Huh? Be there Friday morning.
Be there early Friday morning. It all kicks off.
There you go. All right, let's take a look from
welcome
the
back
beginning.
on Thursday.
Zukoski starts with he needs that shirt. I think that's the one he's talking about. He wants
this
that
one,
shirt.
Robbie.
Yep, that was available at the Worlds and
at
the
the
merch
Worlds
booth.
Yep.
I don't think I have.
So
one.
you
Do
know
I have
what?
one of those? Oh yeah, I do. It's the crew shirt.
One of the things we're not doing like we did a couple years ago, where we're going to give away free T-shirts at majors. But one of our plans, Finn, this year, just to interject something, is we are going to be doing things like this, where we're going to come into a major with like 100 T-shirts in a tub of a specific design, something different, something fun for the players to buy if you happen to like that T-shirt. So we are going to
take
have
it as a souvenir.
Yeah, take it as a souvenir. But the plan is for the majority of the majors that we can get the shirts to, that there will be a unique T-shirt on hand for purchase, generally like $20. Just FYI.
Good stuff. Alan Massey, thank you. Appreciate you. Singleton, Sing, my man. Zach Smith, offer the bag to Jeremiah. I'm not sure what bag he's talking about, but when we figure that out, we may just do that. Todd Ernstberger, Team Arcane.
He's talking about the big bag.
Oh, the
bean
giant
bag.
The giant. I've tried to get that as a dog bed for my dog, for two different dogs. I've already gone through a dog and tried to get it as another dog bed. It ain't happening. Team Arcane, says Todd Ernstberger. Let's go season 19. Danny Rich, good job this past weekend. He watched it and enjoyed it. We had a great time at the Field of Dreams, my man. Old friendly Frank, says Whitney Garner. Of course, she knows damn well.
Love you, girl.
What's going on? So we got all that. Yep, good. Just showing up gets them points, says Zukoski. Just showing up gets them points. Is that right?
Yep, and you guys will be able to read all about the points when we launch that next week, so everybody understands the split pools and everything.
Doesn't everybody get points just for showing up?
Well, everybody does.
Yeah.
It just matters how many points
How
you
many
get.
points? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Chip says I was asking for Pro Series times in West Virginia. We'll be doing the same thing we did last year to get 9 a.m. for the frame games, get them going. But again, we're gonna have more pros throwing frame games this year for those same 16
It might
slots.
go a little longer.
It might take a little longer to throw those frame games, but the frame games are pretty important. And you've got now until that West Virginia Charleston major to start working on that frame game. And I think we're going to see a couple of 156s this year. We didn't think we would last year, and we were very close with Douglas Parker. I think we're going to see a couple this year. Old boy over here keeps shaking me off, so there's no way. Anthony Russell, excited for my second season. Anthony Russell, we're excited for your second season as well. Worlds was my first big ACO tourney, says Jonathan Nail. We saw his name roll up a bunch of times up in the bracket. Had a blast. It will definitely make it to a couple majors. Great job to the whole crew that makes this happen. And you know what? There's no better comment to wrap it up on than that one right there, because that's where all the credit belongs, to everybody who makes it happen. And we end right where we began. We couldn't do it without you. If it wasn't for you, there'd be no need for us. So thank you guys for a great season 18. The Field of Dreams was badass. We started again in just a couple of weeks. We will be back with season 19 tacos after we get started with majors. ACO B4 is still coming back. So get those pictures of what you used to do before Cornhole and send them to taco@americancornhole.com. Where in the world is the ACO? We're working with a flat Stanley kind of thing. Wear your ACO gear out no matter where you go in the world. Send us a picture. We'll have it on the taco. We're going to talk about the talent show. Opportunity, you got a special skill, a special little trick that
Flip
you do.
your ear.
If you can flip your ear, if we have like a lot of people that flip their ears, I'm getting out because something is freakishly wrong within the organization if we have all the ear flippers. But that said, it's going to be a fun season 19. The taco will start up again here after the beginning, but we wanted to put a real nice big bow on the end of this. So again, everybody that came out to the Worlds or watched online, enjoy the YouTube presentation as we continue to move forward, and look for updates on the Facebook page. In the meantime, thanks again to everybody in Dyersville, Iowa. Thanks to our friends at Kia. Thanks to our friends at Vidalia Onions and GNR Farms. Again, to be honest with you, there's nobody we should thank more than you. So I will do that. He will do it. As I raise a beer to you and give you your Taco Tuesday back. It was a Grande taco, as promised. Fergie, now you know where your cup is. You're never getting it back. And cheers to you. I'm Finn the Loudmouth for the ACO. He is Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude.
Keep on pitching.
Let's start a revolution. King.
Fight for the power. Stand your ground, don't let it go. Fight for the power. Can't be scared when you're in the dark. You should never let the fear make you run away. Fire still burning for another day. Fight for the power.
Searching for some power, help me realize he's the source. This confidence within will never fold, can't get divorced. Won't vacate, we fighting to the end, no. Judging how we playing, but they never getting in, no. No stopping me like a soccer team, we going for our goals. Went from doubting me, now they proud of me, we did that on our own. Can't fake that, even if you had the blueprint, can't we make that? That's straight facts. Kept fighting, they quitting, now they hate that. Kept fighting, they quitting, now they hate that. Only squad I trust, put in work to get like us. Yeah, we all in. Hard work, dedication, grind, no luck. Ain't no stops, can't get stuck. When you fall, get back up. We stay 10 toes. Before the bright lights went on, we been on. Ain't been wrong. Can't count us out, look at us now, been counting down. This is our time. Been our moment, up. Had to get it going, cause we really want it.
Fight for the power, move in silence. Don't worry about the price you gotta pay. Fight for the power. Step to the plate. Don't worry about the haters in the way.
Dependability isn't a piece of hardware, it's peace of mind. It's the confidence you get from knowing that every time you get behind the wheel, you're in a vehicle that's capable and reliable. Dependability isn't driving just any brand. It's driving the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power.